What's up, guys? It's your man Donovan Sharp, and welcome to this edition of the Sharp Reality. You guys can always follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp. You can find all episodes of TSR right here on YouTube. You can find them on SoundCloud. You can find them on iTunes, as well as my website, donovansharp.com. You can support the show, guys, at no cost to you. All you have to do is bookmark the Amazon link in the sidebar of our homepage and do all your Amazon shopping through that link. And of course, be sure to sign up. Be sure to sign up for our newsletter, which is in that same sidebar to stay up to date on all things TSR. And again, we're not gonna blow up your inbox. We're not gonna spam you. We're not gonna do any of that stuff. It's gonna be a once a week newsletter to keep you guys up to date on the goings on out here at Sharp Reality Studios, so to speak. We'll let you know about past podcast episodes, things that have happened, maybe future podcast episodes, future guests, et cetera, et cetera. So be sure to sign up for that newsletter to stay up to date. Tonight's episode, guys, I am going to talk to you about the mommy issue myth. Women these days like to create male equivalents to female frailties to defect their inherent flaws to make themselves feel better so that they can sleep at night. One example that comes to mind is the term that has recently been made up called fuckboys. In other words, male sluts. Women are no longer asking the age-old question that we all are aware of. Why do men sleep around? Why are men who sleep around studs, but women who sleep around sluts? Okay, they don't ask that anymore because at this point, women know why men who sleep with a lot of women are looked upon, are admired, while women who sleep with a lot of men are admonished. Okay, they understand that being a slut is easy. Even half-decent looking women can walk out their door and they'll have dick thrown at them from literally every direction. Men, on the other hand, it doesn't matter how high a value male you are. It doesn't matter how much game you have. You can be the best looking guy, make a 6-figure income, be in great shape, 2% body fat, 24-inch dick. Even a man that has that high value doesn't get laid. It's not easy to get laid as a high value male. Women now know and understand this, so they don't disingenuously ask the question and start the stud versus slut debate. Instead, what they have done is they have decided to insinuate that the male sex drive is just as licentious as female promiscuity, with the word fuckboy. Okay, so that's one way they try to equalize male and female sex drive. Well, guys, they've thought of another one, and this one is called mommy issues. And they made up mommy issues to retaliate against the legitimate daddy issues. Now, the scarlet letter for men, in terms of being a weak-minded male or just a loser, was mama's boy. But because men don't really take offense to that, they don't really use that term that often, okay? A lot of men, believe it or not, who are mama's boys, they take pride in the fact that they are mama's boys. A lot of women these days are actually seeking out mama's boys because of the ridiculous myth that a man who treats his mother well will treat them well. That's just one of the many myths that women foolishly believe about men. And this is why a lot of them seek out what they believe to be mama's boys. Now, because of all of that, they know that calling a man a mama's boy doesn't have quite the same sting as telling a woman she has daddy issues. Everyone knows, guys, that women with daddy issues are severely damaged females. In episode 4, I talked about the worst heartbreak of my life. You guys can go listen to it. It's one hell of a story. But the girl Amy, who took me for a ride that I'll never forget, she had severe daddy issues. Her father was absent in her life. He was in and out of prison on the regular and was never around. As a result, Amy turned out to be a severely damaged female. She willingly lost her virginity at 12 years old, had a kid at 15, Again, the rest is history. Go to episode 4 and listen to it. But daddy issues are real. All right. A woman with daddy issues seeks out male validation from an early age, and they do it mainly through sex. Let's call a spade a spade. They start fucking older men at a very young age to fill the void that is left by the lack of male love and validation that they need as girls. Women know that daddy issues are real and valid, and they see it all around them every day. So there's no denying it. A mama's boy, calling a man as a mama's boy doesn't have the same gravitas as daddy issues, because men who are mama's boys are simply men who didn't stop sucking their mom's tit. All right. Yeah, that's certainly a bad thing in terms of masculinity. Yes, mama's boys are not really independent. They live with their mothers a lot. They're kind of they're beta bitch boys, but it's a hell of a lot better than becoming a stripper or a drug addict or a raging slut or all three, which women know is much worse, which is what happens to women who have daddy issues. So what they did is they made up mommy issues they made up mommy issues, guys, to make the lack of a mother's love and protection as detrimental as a father's lack of love and protection. They want to be equally as important. They want to say, look at that guy. He didn't have a mother growing up, and a mother's love and women are so damn important that, look, his life is in shambles. That's why they made up mommy issues, because they know that women who grow up without fathers grow up to be fucked up individuals. So let's take a look at single mothers versus single fathers. Single mothers, it's no secret, guys. Single mothers raise slutty females. Single mothers raise girls with entitlement complexes, rationalization hamsters. And girls learn how to hamster from a young age because mommy has to explain why she's fucking a different dude every month, and she passes that behavior and that attitude down to her daughter. So girls learn from a very young age from single mothers the art of hamstering slutty behavior, because they learned it from their mothers, because their mothers have been doing it their whole lives. Girls raised by single mothers end up as whores, guys. It's plain and simple. So a combination of a slutty mother as their only example of a woman and a lack of male leadership, that validation, that unconditional love, that turns girls who are raised by single mothers into raging sluts. You don't even have to look at any sort of studies or statistics. Just live life. Look at the people around you. Talk to your friends, your relatives. Just talk to people at work, etc. And you'll see. You don't need some sort of study to tell you that. I'm not breaking news to you guys. As far as boys are concerned, single mothers raise two kinds of boys, all right? They either raise weak men or extremely violent men. Boys raised by single mothers either turn into faggots because they don't have a strong male figure in their lives. And when I say faggot, that may or may not be gay. They might turn gay because they don't have a strong father in their lives, or they can just act like a faggot. In other words, they like girls, but they just don't act like a man. To me, they're all the same. A man who doesn't act like a man is a fucking faggot. I don't care if he likes fucking girls or not. It doesn't matter to me. It's either that or they become violent criminals as a way to sort of vent their frustration for not having a father. I'm not a psychiatrist. I'm not going to sit here and fill your head full of bullshit. Well, boys raised without fathers. No, I'm not into that. I know that boys raised without fathers grow up pissed off because they didn't have a dad at home. And their entire lives, their mother is talking shit about men. Oh, your dad wasn't shit. Men aren't shit. And so boys raised by single mothers develop an inferiority complex, but he can't lash out against his mother, so he lashes out against society. Single fathers, on the other hand, they raise good daughters because his daughters she doesn't need that male validation because she gets all the male validation she needs from dad, which means she's much less likely to become a hoe. Okay, when boys start showing her attention in high school, she'll be able to decide. She'll be able to decipher the boys who are just trying to fuck her and boys who genuinely like her as a human being, because she's getting all of the validation and love she needs at home, so she doesn't need to seek it out in men. Single fathers raise good, strong, masculine young men. These boys are, because they have a male father figure in their lives to give them an example of what a man should be. And not all single fathers are perfect, but they're better than single mothers. These boys who are raised by single fathers are much less likely to end up as criminals. Okay? They're much less likely to end up as faggots or weak men. Single fathers, guys, make far better parents than single mothers. All studies suggest this, but again, don't take my word for it. Live life. Live life and you'll see. If you happen to meet someone, a man or a woman who was raised by a single father, they they are generally much more put together. They're much stronger physically, mentally, financially than men and women who are raised by single mothers. That's just all there is to it. Now, obviously, two-parent homes are the best, okay? We all know that. Children raised in a two-parent home, even a bad two-parent home, is better than being raised by a single mother. But single moms are by far and away the worst parents, guys, and it's not even close. Listen, just look at the state of our children. Look at the state of millennials. Girls are raging sluts. They're dyeing their hair green. They're getting piercings in all of their body parts. And we got boys running around pretending they're women, wearing fucking high heels, putting on makeup with full beards. Like, what the fuck is going on? What the fuck is going on is that we have boys and girls that are increasingly being raised by single mothers. That's how this works. Absentee mothers do have a negative effect on children on some level, but not nearly as much as absentee fathers. That's why fathers are more important. If a kid says, well, yeah, my mother up and left, they live better lives because they were raised by their fathers. But if a father leaves the home, it's nothing but chaos because they're raised by single mothers. This is why fathers are more important than mothers. Say whatever you want. Two-parent homes are the best, but if you had to choose a one-parent home, you got to go with the single father. Bad mothers, okay, mothers who are present in the home but are bad mothers, again, they have an impact. But bad fathers have much more of an impact. You talk to people who are raised by, oh yeah, I was raised in a two-parent home. Yeah, I was raised by a bad mother. She cheated or she was on drugs. Okay, that just shows the kid what to stay away from. It shows the daughters what not to be. But a bad father in the home, if you talk to a man or a woman who was raised by a bad father, yeah, my dad beat me, he abused me, beat up my mom, he was a drunk, etc., their lives are in chaos. And that's not the case 100% of the time, but by and large, people who are raised by bad fathers are much worse off than people who are raised by bad mothers. Women made up mommy issues, quote unquote, to make their presence in a child's life more important than a father's presence, when it is crystal clear that both men and women who are raised without fathers are sluts, criminals, and faggots. That's all there is to it. This is just another example of women trying to be more important than men. And it's so obvious with this mommy issues bullshit. They would love to think that mothers are so important that if a man didn't have one as a child, his life goes sideways and he's in constant chaos, that he ends up as a loser or a drug addict, etc. But here's the flaw in that myth. Guys, we already have an infinite sample size because there are more female parents than male parents. Okay? Females get custody almost 90% of the time, guys, and better than 90% of single parent households are single mothers, which proves unequivocally that there is no such thing as mommy issues because mommies are around all the time. So by saying a man has mommy issues, a woman is saying that a man had a bad mother, which most women would never say out loud because that would be, God forbid, criticizing her own gender, and women don't do that, at least not publicly. The bottom line here, guys, is that daddy issues destroy children. Mommy issues do not, and that's exactly why women and feminists made this myth up. That does it for this edition of The Sharp Reality. Again, follow me on Twitter at Donovan_Sharp and visit donovansharp.com anytime for weekly updates on previous episodes, future guests, etc. Like I said, be sure to sign up. Be sure to sign up for that newsletter. Support the show. Bookmark that Amazon link in the sidebar of our homepage. Do all your Amazon shopping through that link, and you can always leave a little something in the tip jar. Thanks for listening.